The alien girl was not like others in her world. She was young and full of hope. Her skin glowed softly in the dark, and her eyes shone like stars. But her life changed forever the day her village was attacked. Dark ships came from the sky, bringing fear and pain. The enemy was strong and no one could stop them. She was taken away from her home, far from the place she loved. She felt the cold steel of chains around her wrists. Her heart was heavy with sadness. She did not understand why this was happening to her. She was forced to leave everything behind: her family, her friends, and her freedom. All she could see now was darkness ahead. The alien girl was made to serve those who captured her. She was told she had no choice but to obey. Her captors saw her only as a tool, something to use and throw away. She thought her life was over. She was ready to live a life of misery. Every day was hard. Every moment was full of fear. She wanted to cry, but there was no one to hear her pain. Even though she was scared, the alien girl did not give up inside. Deep in her heart, a small flame of hope still burned. She dreamed of a day when she could be free again, but for now she had to survive. She learned to hide her fear and pain behind a quiet face. No one should see how much she suffered. The days passed slowly. She saw many others like her, trapped and forgotten. They were broken by the hard life of servitude. Some lost all hope, while others fought quietly to stay strong. The alien girl tried to be like the strong ones. She told herself that she would not let this dark life defeat her. One day the alien girl was taken to a new place. It was strange and different from anything she had seen before. The people there looked at her with cold eyes. They spoke a language she did not understand. She felt even more alone than before. But she knew she must be brave. She had to face whatever came next. Among these new people was a human. He was different from the others. His eyes were kind and he did not look at her like she was worthless. The alien girl did not trust him at first. She had been hurt by many before. But something about this human made her heart beat a little faster. Maybe he was not like the rest. The human did not say much at first. He only watched quietly as the alien girl worked. He saw her tired face and the pain behind her eyes. Something inside him told him she did not belong here. She was not just a servant or a prisoner. She was someone special, someone who deserved better. The alien girl wanted to believe this too. She wanted to believe that there was more to life than this darkness. She wanted to hope that someone would care. But she was afraid. She was afraid to be hurt again. She was afraid to dream too much because dreams can break easily. As the days went by, the human did small things to help her. He gave her water when no one else did. He spoke softly to her in his strange language. He did not demand anything in return. The alien girl began to see a different side of the human. Maybe he could be a friend. At night, when the world was quiet, the alien girl looked at the stars. She thought about her home and her family. She wished she could see them again. She wished she could be free to run and laugh and live without fear. The darkness around her felt heavy, but inside, the small flame of hope grew a little brighter. The fall into darkness had been hard and painful. The alien girl had lost so much. But she was still alive. She was still fighting. And somewhere deep inside, she believed that her story was not finished yet. The human might change everything, but only time would tell. For now, she stayed strong. She kept her heart closed but watched the human closely. Maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of a new path, a path that could lead her out of the darkness and into the light. The alien girl did not know what the future held, but one thing was clear. She was not ready to give up. Not yet. The alien girl's new world was cold and strange. Every day felt heavier than the last. She was no longer just a prisoner, she was a servant. The place where she lived was not her home. The humans around her spoke in harsh tones and watched her like she was less than nothing. They treated her like a tool to use, never as a person. Her hands worked without rest, but her heart felt broken. She learned quickly that kindness was rare here. Most humans ignored her pain or saw it as weakness. But the alien girl was strong. inside even if she hid it well. She kept her head down, afraid that if she spoke they would punish her more. She wanted to disappear into the shadows and never be seen. But one human was different. He did not shout or stare with anger. He moved quietly and watched her carefully as if he saw something others did not. Sometimes, when no one was looking, he would bring her a small gift, a piece of food or a warm cloth. The alien girl did not trust this kindness at first. She had been betrayed too many times. Days passed, and the small acts of care from the human began to warm the cold world around her. She started to feel a tiny spark of hope, a feeling she thought was lost forever. She wondered if this human could be her friend. Could he be the one who saw her not as a servant but as someone worth caring for? Despite the fear in her heart, the alien girl dared to look up from her misery. She wanted to believe that life could change, that maybe, just maybe, there was a way out of this dark prison. But danger was never far away. The people who kept her captive watched closely, and any sign of weakness could bring pain. Still, in the quiet moments, the alien girl dreamed. She dreamed of freedom, of a life where she could be herself again. And deep inside, she held on to the hope that this strange human could help her find the light in the darkness. She was broken and beaten inside, yet one small act of kindness began to change everything for the alien girl. The human who watched her quietly, unlike the others who only saw her as a servant, did something unexpected. One cold morning, when her body was weak and her spirit lower than ever, he handed her a small cup of warm water. It was a simple thing, but to her it felt like a gift from the stars. The alien girl looked at the cup with surprise. She wanted to say no, to refuse any help because she was scared of trusting again. But the warmth of the cup in her hands touched something deep inside her. She took a slow sip, feeling the heat spread through her tired body. For the first time in a long time, she felt a small moment of comfort. The human's eyes met hers briefly. There was no command, no anger, only something gentle and soft. He didn't speak much, but his quiet kindness said more than words could. The alien girl didn't know his name, and she wasn't sure if she would ever learn it. But in that moment, she felt a connection, a thread of hope weaving through the darkness that surrounded her. From that day, the human's small acts of care continued. Sometimes he brought her extra food, something fresh and sweet that the others wouldn't share. Other times, he silently helped her rest by covering her with a thin blanket when the nights grew cold. His presence was quiet but powerful. He did not demand anything in return. He did not treat her as less. Slowly, the alien girl's heart began to open. She found herself watching him, curious about this man who showed her respect and kindness without expecting a reward. His eyes held a deep understanding, as if he knew the pain she carried, but chose to see her beyond it. The alien girl wanted to trust him but was afraid. She had been hurt too many times before. Trust was fragile and easy to break. Yet, little by little, she allowed herself to hope. She spoke to him in her own language, simple words that he tried to learn. He listened patiently, never making her feel foolish. She taught him about her world, about the stars she came from and the dreams she once had. In return, he shared stories of his home, a place of earth and sky that was strange to her but filled with life. Their bond grew in silence and small gestures. The alien girl no longer felt completely alone. The walls of her prison began to feel less like chains and more like a place where something new could begin. She still feared the outside world and the people who held her captive, but inside, a new strength was building. One night, as she lay under the pale light of distant stars, she whispered a prayer for freedom. Not just for herself, but for all those who suffered like her. She asked for courage to face the darkness ahead, and for the human who had changed her world to never give up on her. The human listened from the shadows, knowing she could not see him. He made a silent promise to protect her, to fight for her, freedom no matter the cost. He understood that saving her was more than an act of mercy. It was a battle for hope itself. Days passed, and their secret friendship blossomed in a world that wanted to keep them apart. The alien girl found new reasons to smile, new reasons to fight. She began to dream again, not just of escape, but of a life where she could be free, loved and safe. The first act of kindness had sparked a fire inside her heart. It was a fire that would not be easily put out. Together, she and the human would face the coming storms. Together, they would rewrite the story of pain and darkness into one of hope and light. For the alien girl, this small moment of care was the start of everything. It was the beginning of a journey that would change her forever. The journey from servitude to strength, from fear to love, from darkness into the brightest light. A time came when the alien girl and the human shared more than just silent glances and small acts of kindness. Their connection began to grow stronger, forming a bond neither had expected. It was strange and new for both of them. She had spent so long feeling like an object, like someone without a voice. But now, with him, she started to feel seen, truly seen, as someone with feelings and dreams. The human did not rush or push her. He understood the weight she carried, the pain that made her careful and slow to trust. But every day, through simple actions and quiet presence, he showed her respect. He listened when she spoke, even when her words were broken or hesitant. He learned her language slowly, trying to understand the sounds and meanings she shared. It was a small effort, but it meant the world to her. In return, the alien girl began to open up. She told him stories of her home, the stars, the forests, the rivers that flowed under strange moons. She spoke of laughter and music, of friends she once had and hopes she had almost forgotten. Sharing these things was not easy. It made her vulnerable. But the human's patience made her brave. Sometimes they sat in silence, simply sharing space. In those moments, the alien girl felt a warmth she had never known before. It was a quiet comfort, like a soft light breaking through the shadows around her. She began to believe that maybe, despite everything, she could find peace again. The human never treated her as a servant. He never demanded obedience or forced her to do anything she did not want. Instead, he spoke gently, always careful with his words. His kindness was different from what she had seen in others. It was honest and without conditions. For the first time in a long time, the alien girl felt safe. Their bond did not go unnoticed. Others watched with suspicion and anger. They did not like to see a human and an alien girl sharing such closeness. Whispers spread and eyes followed them wherever they went. The alien girl knew that danger was near, but she refused to let fear break the fragile connection they had built. One day, the human gave her a small gift, a simple bracelet made from threads of earth plants. It was nothing fancy, but to the alien girl it was a symbol of trust and friendship. She wore it carefully, feeling the warmth of the earth and the promise it held. In return, she offered him a small stone from her world, smooth and glowing faintly under the light. It was a treasure to her, a piece of home she could share. The human accepted it with awe and respect, knowing this was more than just a gift. It was a sign of the bond growing between them. As their friendship deepened, the alien girl's spirit began to heal. The walls she had built to protect herself started to crumble. She laughed softly at the human's mistakes in her language. She shared dreams she dared not speak aloud before. Together they imagined a future beyond servitude and pain, a future filled with freedom and hope. But their growing closeness also brought new challenges. The people who held her captive did not want to lose control. They saw the human's kindness as a threat. Rumors of punishment and separation began to spread. The alien girl felt the weight of these threats, but the human stood beside her, ready to face whatever came. In their quiet moments, they promised to protect each other. They made plans not just to survive, but to fight for a life where they could be free. The alien girl knew the road ahead would be hard, but with the human support, she felt stronger than ever before. Their bond was more than friendship. It was a silent promise, a promise of loyalty, courage, and hope. In a world full of darkness, they found light in each other, and that light would guide them through the storms to come. For the alien girl, this growing bond was a lifeline. It was proof that even in the deepest pain, love and kindness could still grow. It was a new beginning, a chance to rewrite her story from one of suffering to one of strength. Together, they faced the future, not as master and servant, but as equals, as friends, and as something more. The quiet world the alien girl and the human had begun to build together was about to face a storm. Outside their small, hidden place, dangers were gathering, threats from the past that refused to stay buried. The enemies who had taken the alien girl from her home had not forgotten her. They hunted her, eager to bring her back under their control, no matter the cost. The alien girl felt the weight of this threat deep in her bones. She had spent years running from shadows, trying to hide from those who wished to use her as a weapon or a prize. Now, the danger was closer than ever. Whispers of raids and searches filled the air, and the watchful eyes of her captors grew sharper. She looked at the human beside her, the one who had become her protector and friend. His calm strength was a beacon in the dark. But even he could not fight every battle alone. The alien girl knew that to survive, she had to be brave, not just for herself, but for him too. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the quiet was shattered by the sound of footsteps. Figures moved through the shadows, searching, hunting. The alien girl's heart pounded with fear and determination. She whispered to the human, warning him that their time was short. Together they prepared for what was coming. The enemies' forces were strong and cruel. They did not care for mercy or honor. Their goal was clear: to capture the alien girl and punish the human who dared to protect her. The battle that followed was fierce. The alien girl, once weak and broken, found strength she never knew she had. She fought alongside the human, using every skill and lesson learned in her harsh past. Though fear gripped her, she refused to let it control her. Each strike she made was a step toward freedom, a refusal to be a prisoner any longer. The human fought with equal courage, his loyalty unwavering. Side by side they faced the threat, their bond a shield against the darkness. The fight was long and hard. There were moments when defeat seemed certain, when the enemy's numbers pressed close. But the alien girl's spirit burned bright. Her will to live and protect the one who had given her hope kept her moving forward. The human's presence was a constant reminder that she was not alone. In the end, their courage turned the tide. The enemies retreated, broken and defeated. But the danger was not gone. It would always lurk, waiting for a chance to strike again. The alien girl and the human knew that their fight was far from over. As the night settled, they took a moment to breathe, to heal. The alien girl looked at the human with new respect and gratitude. He had stood by her when others would have turned away. Together, they had faced the storm and survived. But survival was just the beginning. The alien girl knew she had to prepare for the battles ahead, not just with weapons but with courage and hope. She was no longer the frightened girl taken from her home. She was a warrior, fighting for freedom, for love, for a future that was theirs to claim. The threat outside was real, but it could not break the bond they had formed. It only made them stronger. And as they looked toward the horizon, they vowed to face whatever came next, together. The battle had left its mark. Both the alien girl and the human carried wounds, some visible, others hidden deep within their hearts. But those scars were not signs of weakness. They were proof of their fight, proof of their will to survive and protect each other against all odds. After the storm had passed, a new challenge rose before them: the fight for true freedom. For the alien girl, freedom was more than escaping captivity. It meant reclaiming her life, her identity, and her power. Years of servitude and fear had tried to break her spirit, but inside, a fierce flame still burned. The human beside her was no longer just a protector. He had become a partner in this fight. Together, they would face the darkness that threatened to consume them. Their enemies were cunning, always watching, always waiting for a chance to strike again. The alien girl knew that she could no longer hide or run. To be free, she had to stand and fight, not only with strength but with heart and mind. She began training, learning to use every skill she had learned from her harsh past. The human helped her, sharing his own knowledge of strategy and survival. Their training was not easy. Every day tested their bodies and wills, but each challenge made them stronger and more united. The alien girl's confidence grew, no longer a frightened captive but a warrior ready to face the galaxy's dangers. The human saw her change and felt pride swell in his chest. She was becoming more than he had ever imagined. As their strength grew, so did their hope. They planned to take back what was stolen from the alien girl, her freedom and her future. They dreamed of a life where she could walk among the stars without fear, where they could build a new home together. But dreams alone were not enough. They needed to act. The day came when they decided to leave the place that had held her captive for so long. It was a dangerous choice, but it was the only way forward. Together, they slipped into the shadows, moving quickly and quietly. The alien girl's heart raced with fear and excitement. She was about to face the unknown, but this time she was not alone. Their journey was filled with obstacles. They evaded patrols, crossed hostile lands, and faced the harshness of space itself. But with every step, their bond grew stronger. The alien girl learned to trust the human not just with her safety, but with her heart. He became her anchor in the chaos, the light that guided her through the darkness. Along the way, they met others who had suffered under the same cruel rule. The alien girl's courage inspired these lost souls. Together they formed a small band of fighters, united by a shared desire for freedom. The human's leadership and the alien girl's strength became the heart of this growing group. The battles that followed tested their resolve. They faced enemies who were powerful and ruthless. But the alien girl fought with a fierce determination, no longer a victim but a warrior defending her new family. The humans stood by her side, fighting with the same passion and love. Their fight was not just for themselves. It was for all who had been oppressed, for all who dreamed of a better life. The alien girl's story became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, courage and love could light the way. As their small army grew stronger, the alien girl and the human prepared for the final battle, the one that would decide their fate. They knew the risk was great, but their spirits were unbreakable. Together they faced the future with open hearts and steady hands. For the alien girl, the fight for freedom was no longer just a dream. It was her destiny. And with the human by her side, she was ready to claim it no matter the cost. The final battle had passed, and with it came a silence unlike any the alien girl had ever known. The war was over, but the scars it left were deep. Yet in that quiet, a new beginning began to take shape, one forged from pain, hope, and an unbreakable bond. The alien girl looked around at the world she once feared. It was not perfect. The wounds of war still showed, ruined buildings, shattered lives, and broken dreams. But beneath the destruction lay a promise, a chance to rebuild, to heal, and to create a future no longer ruled by fear or cruelty. Beside her stood the human who had changed everything. He was no longer just a protector or a friend. He was a partner, a constant presence who had faced every storm with her. Together, they had fought not just for survival, but for a new way of living, one filled with respect, love, and freedom. Their journey had not been easy. There had been moments of doubt, moments when the darkness seemed too strong, but their hearts held fast. The alien girl had learned that true strength came not just from fighting, but from trusting and loving. Now, as the stars shone brightly overhead, she felt a peace she had never known. She was free, not just from chains, but from fear. She had a future to build, and she would not waste a single moment. The human took her hand gently, a silent promise passing between them. They would face whatever came next together. Their bond was a light in the galaxy, a testament to the power of hope and love. Together they began to rebuild, not just walls and cities, but lives and dreams. The alien girl found joy in simple things, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of friends, the quiet moments shared with the human who had changed her world. She remembered the dark days, the pain and fear, but she no longer let them define her. Instead, they were a part of her story, a story of courage, resilience, and new beginnings. The galaxy around them was vast and full of unknowns, but the alien girl was ready. With the human by her side, she knew she could face anything. Together, they were a force of light against the shadows, a reminder that even in the darkest times love could shine brightest. And so, their story continued, not as captor and captive, but as equals, as partners, and as something more. A story of freedom, one of love found and of a new life waiting to be lived.